order
Oh,
at
you did it
5:31.
last time. There you go.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. We will now convene a closed session.
Find it?
reconvene at 6:03. There was no action taken in closed session. Next, I would like to invite Trustee Johnson to do the land acknowledgement.
Thank you. Sonoma County is home to many tribal nations, including Cloverdale Pomo, Cashio Pomo, Lytton Pomo, Dry Creek Pomo, Mishawah Wapo, and the Federated Indians of Grayton Rancheria, which includes Southern Pomo and Coast Miwok people. The Cotati-Rohnert Park School District is located on the ancestral homelands of the Southern Pomo and the Coast Miwok, who today are known as tribal citizens of the Federated Indians of Grayton Rancheria. The Southern Pomo and Coast Miwok people have been stewards and caretakers of these lands since time immemorial and have survived acts of local genocide and a legacy of colonialism. Today, they are part of a living tribe that is affecting positive change for Native and non-Native communities through the tribe's mission of social justice, cultural revitalization, and environmental stewardship.
Great, thank you. All right, next I would like to invite Omar Suta up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty. All right. Next, we have public comment for items not on the agenda. All right. So please keep your comments concise, brief, and limited to 3 minutes or less. A maximum of 20 minutes is allotted to each subject not appearing on the agenda. If there are more speakers than the time allotted, they are each offered the opportunity to speak for an equal duration of 20 minutes. The Brown Act restricts the board from considering any item not appearing on the posted agenda. So for those of you that have not been to a board meeting before, or seen a board meeting, during public comment, the board is able to listen, but we can't have a dialogue back and forth. So we can ask clarifying questions. We can, at the end of the meeting, instruct the superintendent to look into something, but we can't go back and forth and explain why, or say, okay, I'll look into that, or yes, I agree with you, or no, I don't, or anything like that. So I just don't want you to think that we're listening and then saying thanks, get out. So I thank everyone for coming tonight to express your concerns. So we do have a handful of public comments tonight. I don't believe we have any that one topic will be over 20 minutes. So everyone is allotted their full 3 minutes. Rochelle has a little timer going, so you hear this little beep, beep, beep. And then if it goes over 3 minutes, I will tap the gavel, and then the mic actually will get turned off at that point too. So, all right, here we go. So first we have Katie Worley. Come on up. Oh, you go right over there on that podium. There you go.
Thought I was gonna have to yell really loudly.
No, you could.
Good morning, or good evening, members of the board. My name is Katie Worley, and I'm a parent of a kindergartner at Hahn Elementary. I have a background as a speech and language pathologist and have worked in the schools and now own a private practice in Cotati that specializes in early childhood learning. I'm here to express my concerns regarding the current class sizes in our kindergarten classrooms, specifically at Hahn Elementary. At present, kindergarten classes have 27 to 28 students, while grades 1st through 4th have significantly smaller class sizes. The recommended class size for kindergarten is 24. When comparing class sizes to junior high and high school classes, their numbers average around 30 kids per class, which is just 2 more than the kindergarten classrooms. My son was in TK last year, which had a student-teacher ratio of 12 to 1, which this year jumped to 28 to 1 for my son's class. This discrepancy is alarming because kindergarten is a critical time for developing foundational skills, social emotional learning, and academic readiness. At this age, students require more individualized attention, hands-on support, and close monitoring to thrive. Smaller class sizes have been researched to greatly correlate with future academic success. We have also seen an upward trend in referrals for special education testing and services, specifically in younger grades where children were affected by COVID. Younger children have unique developmental needs that demand a lower student-to-teacher ratio. With 28 students, it is challenging for teachers to provide the necessary support for each child, impacting their growth and long-term educational outcomes. In response to this issue, we have gathered significant support in the form of a petition signed by concerned parents and community members. This is an issue that parents feel very passionately about, and we will continue to push the districts for action. We believe that providing classroom aids for these larger classrooms would be an immediate, practical step to help alleviate the burden on teachers and ensure the youngest learners receive the attention they deserve. We urge the board to prioritize this matter and take action to address it. The support for smaller class sizes is strong, and we will continue advocating for solutions that benefit our students and teachers. Thank you for your time and your commitment to making our district the best it can be for all the students.
Thank you. All right. Next, we have Jabron Ortega.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, board. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mr. Ortega. I'm a Spanish teacher here at Rancho Cotati High School, and today I come on behalf of my department, World Language Department here at Rancho Cotati High School. And the reason I'm here today is because we are we're here to express our strong support on behalf of the Language Department, myself, Mr. Mueller, who's also here tonight, and Ms. Schwinn, who's also a Spanish teacher. And we're here to support Mr. Keith Reinhardt, who's here. He's one of our most dedicated and reliable substitute teachers. Throughout his time in our department, Mr. Reinhardt has demonstrated a remarkable commitment to academic success and the well-being of our students, particularly those who are learning new languages, a critical and challenging endeavor for many of them. In our department, where students are developing foundational language skills, we often rely on Mr. Reinhardt's professionalism and the ability to establish meaningful connections with our students. His positive relationships with both students and staff, especially in our department, have helped foster an inclusive, supportive learning environment. And his approachability encourages students to actively participate and feel comfortable taking risks in their language learning journey. For students grappling with the complexities of acquiring a new language, having a substitute teacher who is patient, encouraging, and understanding is crucial. And Mr. Reinhardt consistently provides these qualities. Mr. Reinhardt's reliability, professionalism, and adaptability to have him an indispensable resource at Rancho Cotati High School. He's constantly punctual, well-prepared, and capable of managing our diverse classroom with skill and empathy. He understands the unique needs of our language learners in his efforts to maintain a structured yet compassionate classroom atmosphere, and have been instrumental in ensuring continuity in learning, I lost my place here. Continuity in learning a new language. Sorry, I lost my place here. Mr. Ryan has shown a great dedication to his role to our students, and we ask that the district give full consideration in the possibility of allowing him to return to our campus. He's a quality substitute teacher, and quality substitute teachers are essential to maintaining the high standards of education that we aim to provide at Rancho Cotati High School. And Mr. Reinhardt's return would be a tremendous asset to our entire school community, especially our students learning a new language. Therefore, it is the reason I am here today on behalf of my World Language Department. We kindly request that you take into account the positive contributions that this wonderful substitute teacher, Mr. Reinhardt, has made in the ongoing need for strong, capable substitute teachers at our school. His presence greatly benefits our students, and we believe that his return would only continue to enhance their educational experience. From the bottom of my heart, Mr. Reinhardt is an amazing individual. Therefore, I ask every possible consideration for him to come back and teach at Rancho Cotati High School. Thank you.
All right. Keith Reinhardt.
Dear Superintendent and trustees, I am humbled and honored by the support of my family, my former colleagues, and my former students. By now, you've all received my write-ups of the incident resulting in my dismissal from the district, so I'm going to let others speak for me. I am a 14-year full-time substitute teacher with additional training in special education and business. I have a few substitute tales to tell you, which may show you what it's like to be a long-term substitute teacher in Sonoma County. I have been the first call #1 substitute in some schools for years. Here's how that changed. During COVID, I was let go after a 2-week paid training for 6th grade when the new principal moved me to 4th grade and her staff was giving out the wrong math workbook. This principal quit the very same year, but not before having me removed from the entire district for calling her out on this serious error by one administrator in the entire district. Post-COVID, after years as the first call substitute in a local high school in a mostly Latino community, the district hired a new principal from outside the district. She made it clear immediately that as a substitute, I could not have a prep period, even though I was in the middle of a long-term assignment with over 100 Google Classroom assignments to grade daily. After I was chastised for saying, quote, dress code, unquote, to an inappropriately dressed student in the hall, I asked to be relieved from that position once they found a replacement. I was let go on the spot by one administrator. Here at Rancho, I was engaged physically, that is, force exerted upon me by a student. In this case, the assistant principal fired me on the spot, and the following Sunday, I was removed from the entire district, again, by the action of one administrator. A couple of concerns. Districts make it clear that good substitutes are constantly needed. Yet on the job, you shove us out the door at the first sign of a problem with students, unlike bargaining union employees. Seems kind of counterproductive. Lastly, particularly in a high school, I try to impart some wisdom to my students in addition to the curriculum, which in this class actually did not exist, nor was I told of any 504 or IEP students prior to accepting the assignment. There is a huge gap in parenting, as you are aware, so I take pride in warning students of the pitfalls they may encounter in real life after high school, loss of employment, homelessness, and even encounters with law enforcement. If students aren't getting this advice at home, I try to be the last chance teacher to teach them they can run into trouble defying appropriate authority in real life. I had my own similar problems when I was their ages, and I lost a son some years ago to a combination of mental health issues. As I told Ms. Young when we spoke, you may decide what you will, but I need you to know I will never give up on these students. Thank you.
Matt Mueller.
Hello. Hello, my name is Matt Mueller, and I teach Spanish here at Rancho. I'm here to speak on behalf of my colleague, Keith Reinhardt. Keith subbed for me in May and June of this year when I was out on paternity leave. His work was exemplary. He did everything I asked, established rapport with my students, and asked good questions. Once we had worked together for a while, he slowly grew his role. He could do more, he said. I was spending all day tending to my infant son. I was so grateful to have Keith in the classroom. A couple of weeks ago, Keith was subbing at another school in the district. A student in his class was using technology inappropriately, and when he asked her to stop, she refused. Based on his account, she was evasive and dishonest in her attempt to continue using the device inappropriately. He held his ground and insisted she stop. She stormed out, clearly upset. Not long after, an administrator came in and asked him to get his things and leave. He asked for an explanation, but none was offered. He was told he'd get a phone call. He has yet to receive it. Since then, he has been removed from the sub list, not only from the school in question, but from the entire district. He has asked several individuals for an explanation, but so far has only heard from someone in HR who said simply that the situation had been reviewed and that he was, quote, not a good fit for the district. Subs don't have the same protections as teachers. I understand that. Keith has no legal recourse to an explanation, nor the right to defend himself. But common courtesy says he is owed an explanation. On a professional note, if Keith did something wrong, he doesn't know what it was. He is still subbing. He might do it again, not knowing he was doing harm. I know him well enough to know that this would upset him a great deal, more than his dismissal. He is very dedicated to the well-being of his students. I am also not owed an explanation, but if Keith asked me for a recommendation for a subbing gig, he would have it. I too would be very upset to learn that I had inadvertently caused harm to students, but I wouldn't withhold a recommendation based on the silence surrounding his dismissal. We have trouble finding qualified subs in this district. Sometimes I get subs who ignore my lesson plans. It's not uncommon. We get mediocre subs. At my school, administrators are often called upon for sub duty, taking them away from their own work, because sometimes we get no subs at all. That's our reality. We lost a real asset last month, a sub who took the job seriously, a sub who cared, and nobody will say why. Is it so much to ask? Perhaps some good can come of this. Perhaps we as a district could review our sub policy with an eye to hiring and retaining quality subs. It would be a shame to lose another Keith Reinhardt. Thank you for hearing me. Good evening.
And then next up, we have the Meta Club and Latino Student Union.
Hi. Do I start? Or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. My name is Alexis Montes. I am a student at Rancho Cotati High School and a member of the Mecha Latino Student Union. On behalf of the Rancho Cotati Mecha Club and Latino Student Union, we are writing to express our full support for Mr. Reinhardt, a dedicated and highly substitute teacher at our school. We respectfully request that he be allowed to return to Rancho Cotati High School. Mr. Reinhardt has not only been an excellent substitute teacher, but has also shown himself to be a caring individual who truly listens to students. His presence in the classroom makes a significant difference for us, and we believe he genuinely understands and supports the needs of our student body. In addition to his teaching, Mr. Reinhardt has gone above and beyond to our club in motivating us to succeed. His generosity and willingness to help uplifted us and given us ideas that have improved our experiences within the Mecha Club. He is an individual of outstanding character and dedication to his students, and we believe his presence is invaluable to our school. Unfortunately, we have witnessed instances where some students have treated Mr. Reinhardt with disrespect. We believe this behavior should not overshadow the positive impact he's made on us and our school community. As a club, we cannot stand by and allow such negativity to affect someone who has given us so much. We respectfully ask that the Rancho Cotati High School Administration and Human Resources Department reconsider our request to have Mr. Reinhardt return. We believe his continued involvement will have a lasting and positive effect and impact on the students of our school. Thank you for your time and consideration of our request. Sincerely, on behalf of the Rancho Cotati High School Mecha Club Latino Student Union at this school. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next up, we have special recognitions and presentations. So first, we have the presentation of the new Han principal. I think Jen is on her way down.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jen Hansen, Director of Human Resources, and I am here because CRPUSD is pleased to introduce Miss Melly Blackstone as our new principal of Marguerite Hahn Elementary School. Miss Blackstone was born, raised, and educated in Santa Rosa for kindergarten through 12th grade. She continued her education at UC Davis, where she earned her Bachelor of Science degree in Human Development and was an active member of the UC Davis ski team. She went on to obtain her multiple subjects credential with bilingual, cross-cultural language and academic development, also known as a BCLAD, and single subject Spanish authorizations, as well as a reading specialist certificate from UC Davis. Ms. Blackstone later earned a master's degree in educational leadership and policy and an administrative credential from Sacramento State University. Ms. Blackstone has taught in Castroville, Winters, and Davis across grades 2nd through 9th, serving as a classroom teacher, reading specialist, Spanish literacy coach, and fine arts teacher. She has also spent 3 years as a summer school principal in Davis. Most recently, she has served as a teacher on special assignment, also known as a TOSA, at a TK through 6th grade school in Davis, working closely with her site principal to implement multi-tiered systems of support and positive behavior interventions and supports at her school. Returning to Sonoma County feels like returning to the chosen spot in all of Earth, as Luther Burbank famously described it. As a marathon and trail runner, Ms. Blackstone is thrilled to be back home and can't wait to explore the local trails again. Most importantly, she is excited to fulfill her dream of leading an elementary school community, supporting the exceptional staff in reaching their highest potential, and creating a place where each child is excited to come to Marguerite Hahn Elementary each and every day. So welcome, Ms. Blackstone, to Cotati Runner Park.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, board, superintendent, associate superintendent. I'm super excited to be here. I have big shoes to fill. I understand that, but I am up to the task, and I'm super excited to be here, and I thank everybody for coming.
Thank you. All right, next we have Technology Middle School. I'd like to invite Principal Josh Brown Herrera and Assistant Principal Ms. Cronin.
Hi, everybody. So we're here from Technology Middle School to share out about all of the great things happening at TMS this year. Our big focus is on community culture. So we're going to share all the great things that are happening at TMS this year. So this year, our focus is as a team, we're committed to strengthening our whole school community. There it goes. That includes students, families, community members, staff, everybody involved. It's essential that every student feels seen, heard, and valued on our campus. We're also exploring new ways to connect with our students' families and building stronger relationships. Working as a team is vital as we come together to create a welcoming environment for all of our students. So our first overall goal is to have more communication with staff, students, and families. So who is the we at TMS? Well, first and foremost, it's our students. So we have some statements here from students.
So I got the quote, so I can share it here. So I talked to many students, but a lot of the students really highlighted loving the cafeteria food, which, great. I'm glad to hear that. They also really loved the fact they've made a lot of new friends this year, especially our 6th graders, and combining the schools. And then many students said that they've found a safe adult on campus that they feel comfortable going to when they're having an issue, and they've really appreciated
the positive relationships that teachers have been building with them since day one, from opening the doors, PBIS recognitions. We've been working really hard on appreciating our students that go above and beyond, and a lot of our kids are feeling that. So that's what summarized those 4 comments.
And so it also includes our teachers, who we owe, much of what we do to, of almost not all of it, right? They're there every day, consistently serving our students and giving them great learning experiences. So our teachers are finding a lot of different ways to make learning fun through art and creativity, engaging student in critical problem solving, engineering practices, making it relevant to the students, and then presenting college and career readiness. And that happens both inside the classroom and outside the classroom. Our teachers have stepped up to make sure our students are having positive experiences outside the classroom in the form of coaching. Some of our coaches are our teachers. Fun events. We have a wonderful ASB program, lunch and school-wide activities. It's very common to be having fun activities in the quad or on the blacktop for students at lunch. And one of our most recent fun events was our Hispanic Heritage Month movie night, where we showed Selena, and a lot of students and families came out and really enjoyed it. So upcoming events, we have our first dance, and then our winter sports season is beginning very soon. We have a phenomenal support team from our counseling team, from our school psychologist, Mr. Eros, Ms. Sharoom, our school counselor, Mrs. Spasti, our school mental health social worker, our campus supervisor team, including Miss Babe, Mr. Mike, and Miss Iris, and our fabulous front office team, Miss Lloyd, our office manager, Miss Wendy, our attendance clerk, and Miss Bobadilla, our school community liaison. Of course, there's me, Mr. Brown, and our wonderful assistant principal, Miss Cronin. And then we have a lot of parent involvement too. We have had our first successful PTA meeting in years, is my understanding. Last year was my first year, but we just had a really hard time getting it off the ground, and that is not the case this year. So we've got elected officers. We're having regular meetings. We're having our mission and vision statements being developed. Teachers have nominated students to participate, so we're really putting the S in the PTSA. We're recruiting teachers. And then, of course, we have our school site council and our ELAC, which are much more robust this year. So we're working really hard to get the families involved, to come together and share ideas on how to make our school great. One big thing we're doing this year, and I really want to say thank you to the ELOP program and Miss Elena DeMars for helping us get the Boys and Girls Club on campus. Then the first quarter, we've served 37 students and spent time getting to know each of them. This is from the Boys and Girls Club. They're experimenting with different programs to learn what kids are into. The programs that have been most successful were kickball, cooking. They're actually going over to the clubhouse and trying different cuisines. They did Filipino food last month. This month, they're working on Mexican food. And they're having things they can take home and share with their families. And then quarter 2 starts next week, where they're going to continue their programming. And like today, for example, they just got back from Santa Rosa. They went to Snoopy's Home Ice. So they're doing a lot of really awesome, great things. Opportunities for our students that they don't normally get. I always say our school is very much so a community school, in the sense that kids all walk to school. They're not really leaving, I feel like, the neighborhood as much. They don't have as much opportunity necessarily. And so to have this program for them to get out has been great for them. Other important partnerships, we are working with Bill and North Bay Security to make sure that our schools are safer, and that's been a big discussion for the district. We've partnered with the Charles Schultz Museum. They came in and did some cartooning classes. We have the library coming out. We have the fabulous Officer Debbie on our campus regularly, not because there's problems, but because she loves working with kids, and she's just there to express her role in making our schools a safer place. And then lots of wins and successes. We had our girls basketball team had their first win. We have a full AVID program this year for all grades. We have a lunch and game center. Our flag football team has really taken off this year. You've just received some emotional support pickles, I hope. And so those are all going out to students as a fundraiser. Our PBIS program is in full swing. We purchased brand new cameras for yearbook and photography, so it's a lot of fun seeing students out taking pictures and just really getting to work on their artistic skills. We're working hard on our Tiger Buck store. And then we have here the pink backpack, Mr. Brown's Skibbity pink backpack. What is that, you ask? I don't know what Skibbity means. I don't think the kids do either, but it is, well, It's my way of letting the kids know I'm holding them accountable for their cell phones. If they see this backpack, they know if I see them with it, it's going in there. But it's actually more of a conversation starter. You know, they constantly ask me what my aura rating is, or if I'm coquette or preppy, and the answer is 5,000, yes and yes. And so just really working on connecting with the students at a deeper level, trying not to be the grouchy principal who's stomping around, busting them all the time, and really working on those PBIS practice to bring them in and make them a stronger part of our school community. Whew. Next steps and goals, we're going to host a family event night. We're looking for some ideas on that. We'll be working with our PTSA on that to get families to come out and just get to enjoy school with their kids, separate from the academic setting, to really, again, bring in that community feel. We are at the center of the Roanoke Park community over there, and we really want to leverage that. We're going to work on collaborating with other schools on best practices and explore ways to ensure our campus is welcoming and a place that students want to be and look forward to coming each day. And then finally, a major area we're working on is collecting student input on areas of improvement. So we're going to work on organizing roundtable discussions with students on important topics concerning our campus and work with them as a team to find solutions, again, to make our space somewhere that kids really want to be and they really identify with.
I think the goal is that it's our space, and they need to understand that they're part of that. So we're really working on developing a team that highlights that.
Right. So I said a lot and I said it fast, I know. I'm always on warp drive, but up here it's even better. Any questions, comments?
Trustee Johnson?
Oh, I really like what I'm seeing. What inspired you to do all of this? This is just amazing.
I think at the heart of it is that we just love Tech Middle and we want to see it be even better. You know, there's a lot of wonderful things happening at Tech Middle, but there's always room for improvement. And I think both Becca and I, we are CRP USD through and through. We've been with the district for a long time. We left for a little while, but we came back because we love it so much and we want to bring that to Tech Middle.
I also think we hear concerns, and when we hear them, like, we can't just let it go. We have to add it to the to-do list. And so I think this is the best way to do that and tackle as many concerns as we hear come up.
I really like your intentionality with developing the community and the culture. When you talked about lunchtime activities, I'm curious, what kind of activities do you have at lunch?
So one of their favorites is I forget the name of the game, they put this cup on their head and they get in a line of 4, and the goal is to get as much water in the cup behind you as possible, and it usually ends up in drenched kids, but when it's nice and hot outside, it's fun. They do cornhole, they do like little relay races, so there's just a lot of fun activities that are happening for kids at lunch, and I'm always surprised to see the kids who I would think would not be into it are the most into it.
Omar says they do hula hooping too, so. Okay. Yeah. Our ASB team really organizes a lot of it. It's really fabulous. And then
That's
our Boys
awesome.
and Girls Club is coming out twice a week at lunch to also help supervise and monitor events and run their own events. So it's been really cool.
It's great.
And I will get you an emotional support girl. I was one short
Oh,
because I forgot 2 Rancher kids at
Well,
once. So I'm
you're on the
sorry.
edge.
Tense over here now. John will share his with me.
Box breathe together.
Is the Boys and Girls Club during school activity, or is it after school, or a little of both?
It's a little of both. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, they're available at lunch, but it's right now it's more so a 3 to 6 p.m. Thing, so kids have somewhere to be after school.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, in elementary school, they have the YMCA on most campuses or something for the kids to do. And 6th graders, it's like, okay, well, good luck, but they're still so young and so needing somewhere to go. So that's fantastic.
Do you guys mind if I go back a slide really quick?
Yeah,
Is that
please do.
okay? No, you didn't miss any. You did fabulous. But I'm really proud. We gave a college and career survey to our students, and it was really interesting. And so I don't know, like, if on your, sorry.
Yeah, you can blow it.
It's linked in there for you guys, so if you zoom it in, there's actually some fun data for you guys from that survey. And it talks about what schools our students are looking into attending, what percent want to go to school, what careers they're thinking about. So it's really cool because the picture with the light bulb, those are all careers that students are exploring. And so it's really fascinating to read that. And so that's just like a fun tidbit for you guys.
So I noticed, because I did blow it up. So you guys have right now 80% of your students say that they do want to go to college. And there's some amazing, I hope they do go to Harvard and Stanford and Yale. That's going to be amazing. And then I do like the most unique universities too. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to look into these. But So I know we have Avid on campus, but how do we get those 80% of students that are at Tech Middle right now? How do we support those students and those parents so that when they enter Rancho Cotati or Tech, they continue on with that college dream and don't kind of give up because classes are hard or something gets in the way or
This is an area that I personally love, and so I'm really hoping I'm working a lot with our student engagement committee to plan Tiger Time activities, and so we're hoping to put some college and career lessons within Tiger Time, and we would cover some of the. That's the whole reason we gave this survey, was we wanted to know what topics to cover in those lessons. So we're hoping to do take some of those careers, pick the top schools that have focus, and here's the requirements for that. Here's what you need to do. Here's when it starts counting, and just kind of give presentations during that to help motivate them, but also educate them on really what it takes to get there.
Okay. And then do we have I know Tech High just recently did this where they had some of their alumni come back who have gone to college and graduated and this is what you can do with your life. And I know it was impactful for a lot of students. Is that something that we have access to? Could we get some Tech Middle graduates that are now kind of grown up and this could be you one day? It's not as hard or impossible as it might seem some
I
days?
think a great start on that would be goal 2.
Okay.
With collaborating with other schools, we can chat with Rancho, Tech High, see if any of our students that have graduated want to come back, maybe some seniors.
Yeah.
We've also talked about doing a college and career day and how we can organize that on our campus. So we're working with student engagement committee for that, and then also our parent committee is on that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the?
I have a question about your PTSA. Because I know my daughter attended there, and I know your enrollment is much smaller than LJ. So you have a much smaller pool to pick from. Are you encouraging past students or past parents who've had their students attend the school also join so that you can get a larger pool to choose from, or are you still
I think
trying to draw primarily on current
anybody that
attendees?
wants to go be a part of the discussions, welcome. We send out lots of parent square reminders saying where it's going to be, when it's going to be. With the parents that have shown up to both meetings, we've worked really hard on just kind of creating the structure because it's essentially new. When I was researching PTSA, my favorite motto on their website was "There's no wrong way to PTSA," and I'm going to live by that to make this happen. And they've been working really hard on the outreach part. I know we want to also set up Zoom links for our next meeting so that parents that want to join virtually can if they can't come into the meeting. But it's not, we send it out, and anybody that showed up would be welcome. Our students that are representing their grades, that's great that they're coming. If more students wanted to attend, they totally could. We wouldn't turn them away. So same with teachers. If alumni wanted to come, I'm not sure exactly how we would do that other than what we're doing, but I would be open to learning that. Do you have anything?
To your point, what I'll say is last year I tried to do it all by myself, trying to get parents involved, and I got somebody saying, "Why are you doing the work? Ask the parents." And so I got a couple of involved parents, and they're the ones who inspired everybody to come. So I think with that, we can talk to them about that. Who do you know that's at a higher level, or maybe somebody who's got siblings down below that maybe they should come up and support us, because I do think it needs to be bigger than just Tech Middle. It's this whole Cotati Roanoke Park Unified School District that we're serving.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Omar, for coming too. And we really appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have something that Trustee Johnson actually asked for. So our Safe Routes to School presentation with Sarah Hadler and Christina Panza. Yep.
Hello, I'm Christina Panza from Safe Routes to School. I believe there's a PowerPoint.
Yep.
Don't know. I shared it with Rochelle via. Oh, is it on there? Ah, there it is. Thank you. Yes. All right, thank you so much for having me tonight. Again, I'm Christina Panza. I'm the director of the Safe Routes to School program. I work for the Sonoma County Bicycle Coalition, but I'm actually, I don't know why that's blinking. Oh, okay.
We can see it on
Oh,
ours
you
too.
can see it. Okay, great. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing though, because what you just pulled up
There you go.
was
There's
not
the
what I
next
had
slide.
on. Oh, okay, it is. Okay, great. Good. Our funder is the One Bay Area Grant, and it's funneled through the Sonoma County Transportation Authority. It's a countywide program. We serve over 60 schools. The goal of the program is to encourage more students to walk and bicycle to school, more students and families to use alternative transportation, but also to do so safely. So we have encouragement, education, and evaluation components. And this slide I love. I've, by the way, abbreviated my presentation from the slides that you have if you've got printed versions. And you can ask questions about those if personally to me, or if you have any questions about slides that I did not share tonight. But this slide I really love, and I'm not going to go over it, but it just kind of talks about all the benefits of safe routes to traffic safety and climate and community connectedness and crime safety and healthier students. It's just a lot of aspects to this program that walking and bicycling to school and using alternative transportation will support. The program has a lot of components to it. I will talk about a few of them. We do evaluation, well, I'll talk about in a second. We have encouragement programming, education programming, community outreach, and we have support for identifying barriers to walking and bicycling to school as well, engineering barriers, which I'll talk about as well. Just real quick on the evaluation front, every school that's enrolled, schools have to enroll in the program to be served or to work with us in every year. We have enrollment of April of every year, and then we have to determine what services we can provide to the schools that are enrolled based on a number of factors. But every enrolled school, we do GIS mapping to determine how many students live within the quarter, the half, the 1 and the 2 mile radius of the school. This is Evergreen. You can see that about 65% of the students at Evergreen live within the mile radius of the school. And we also do data collection in the beginning of every year. This is from last year's data showing how many kids are walking and bicycling and scootering and skateboarding and carpooling and taking the school bus and public transit and single family vehicles. And the biggest number is always single family vehicles. And what we're trying to do is see if we can increase those walkers, those bicyclists, even the carpoolers, even the transit and bus riders, and that would be great too. All of the data that we collect is on our website, so if you're interested in checking it out, all the schools in Roanoke Park that are enrolled, all the data we have from parent concerns to how the schools engage to their GIS maps to their walk roll data is on the website sonomasaferoutes.org in the travel plan section, and you can go look at your school travel plan to look at all that data. In terms of which schools are participating in Roanoke Park this year, we have Evergreen, John Reed, Monte Vista, Richard Crane, and University. Lawrence Jones Middle School did participate in our International Walk and Roll to School Day event, which is a one-time-a-year event that we do in October, and any school can register for that whether or not they're enrolled. We have a few schools not participating this year: Hahn, Technology Middle, Technology High, which I didn't realize, I left that off by accident, and Rancho Cotati High. We mostly serve elementary, middle. We do have some high schools that we provide, limited service to if they request it, like a drive your bike lesson for a school that wants to understand, have their kids learn how to ride safely. Our encouragement programming, we basically provide tools and resources to all of our enrolled schools to help them to implement encouragement programming for walking and bicycling and alternative transportation. We have themes every month. In September, we had a back to school map and meetup challenge. October is International Walk and Roll to School Day, and I'll share that challenge with you in a second. November, coming up, we have Ruby Bridges Walk to School Day. That's celebrating equity and diversity and teaching about Ruby Bridges and also about being safe and seen since it's daylight savings time. In December, we do a Wacky Winter Walk and Roll Month, where we encourage schools to have a Wacky Winter Walk Roll Day where kids can dress in bright colors and really emphasize safety as well. In February, we have a Walk and Roll for Our Hearts, emphasizing the benefits to our health and the environment. And March of the Penguins is in March. We have an Earth Challenge in April, and we do Bike to School Day in May. And we provide schools with resources like this page is just showing examples of the resources we share with schools, our International Walk and Roll to School Day poster, little like Instagram infographics and other graphics, flyers, electronic materials that schools can utilize to promote their walk and roll days. And we also have, this is Monte Vista's Walk and Roll Day in October, on October 9th. Last week they had a great turnout. And they're wearing our t-shirts, and it's super fun. When you have a walk roll day, a lot of schools establish walking school buses and meetup spots, which I think most of our Roanoke Park schools did this year. And as I was saying, every month has a theme, every month has a challenge. Our challenge in October is to walk and roll as often as you can to school or anywhere, and anyone that fills out the challenge sheet and turns it into their teacher or their school or to eventually back to us will be entered into a drawing for a family ice cream outing. And in November, we'll have another challenge. And every month we have a challenge that schools can share. Teachers can share them. It's just another way to raise awareness about the benefits of walking and bicycling and to their health or the environment, or, just getting people out walking and biking too. And this is in February, we always have an art contest, and we do a calendar. For the Walk and Roll for Our Hearts, I Heart Walk and Roll is the theme, and this is just some of the art we got last year. We're really looking for it. This is one of our most popular challenges that we do every year. And Bike to School Day is in May, like I said. The data from last year, we had an amazing Bike to School Day last May. We had 57 schools participate, 6 in Roanoke Park, 1,452 kids biked, 197 in Roanoke Park, 162% increase above the norm in Roanoke Park on bicycling last May. And we'd like to see that increase even more this coming year, which is May 7th. And we do provide support for bike trains. That's a thing that we do in our program. Any school that wants to form them, we help them identify routes. We give them materials and language for helping recruit parent leaders. A lot of schools have teachers or principals even leading bike trains or walking school buses. So that's just something to be aware of. We can support that. And we are also providing education. So we do education at the 2nd, the 4th, and the 5th grade level. We also do middle school education at one of the grade levels, a driver bike curriculum. And we did education this year. We're doing it those 5 sites that are enrolled. All of those sites are also getting 4th grade bicycle rodeos, which are on the bike during the school day, where kids learn all the basics of bicycling. They get low-cost helmets. They get their bikes repaired if they bring them. That's just, again, all the schools in Roanoke Park that are enrolled this year are receiving a 4th grade bike rodeo. Just so you know, we actually do community workshops as well. We're not doing one in Roanoke Park in 2024, but that's a possibility in 2025. So we do family bike workshops where we get parents and kids to learn about the safe riding, and we go on a road ride with them. We've done them in Roanoke Park before. We just didn't do one in 2024. And we have partnerships with bike shops, lots of schools. Lots of kids had their bikes repaired at our bike rodeos last year. And again, we do community outreach. We're out there all over PTO presentations, PTA presentations, school staff meeting presentations, community meetings, task forces. We do walk audits with schools. We come out and support bike trains and walking school buses. We reached a lot of students in Roanoke Park last year. 935 students received education. That's not including anyone that walked enrolled. This is the breakdown of that. And this is our website, and there's tons of information up on the website. You can see the data I talked about. You can see our current challenge. You can get curriculum. You can get to the Ruby Bridges Day page, which has links to curriculum for teaching about Ruby Bridges. There's just tons of information up there. I highly encourage you to check it out. We have PSA videos too, which are really cool. All kinds of topics like riding in the bike lane, how to ride in a bike lane, how to wear your helmet properly, how to lock your bike properly, tons of stuff. So thank you so much. If anybody has any questions, let me know.
Thank you, Amanda. Thanks for bringing
Christina.
this to us. This is a great program. The grant is going to last how long? I mean, you guys
We are
gonna-
in a contract with SCTA. This is our, we had a 5-year contract that we finished, and now we're in the second year of another 4-year contract. I expect it's the funding's through the Metropolitan Transportation Commission. It's regional safe routes funding through the federal. There's federal funds that generate, that's the money is from. But my understanding is the program will continue. Whether I am the contractor is unknown, but we have basically been running the program since 2008 in Sonoma County. So I hopefully will continue doing it. The county has a commitment to this program. It's in their Vision Zero action plan. The county is actually currently in the process of developing a countywide Safe Routes to School plan. So I don't think it's going to be going away.
Great, thank you.
So, question about safety.
Mm-hmm.
How do we encourage all students that ride bikes to wear helmets? And do we enforce that at our campuses with our principals and stuff like that? I see a nodding of a head. That's good, because often I'll see kids without a helmet riding around. And the other thing that's becoming very popular now is electric bikes.
Right.
And I see people flying through intersections and not stopping and following things. So I would imagine that if you were to do that and see a police officer, you could be cited for that. So hopefully our students realize if they are riding electric bikes, going a lot faster, that a helmet is essential type of thing. And then riding bikes is great. There's different trends in life and different times in life. I remember when I went through school, I rode a bike to school and walked, and then became the time when I was in high school old enough where I had a car. And so that changed things a lot. But what really opened my eyes, if you've ever been up to UC Davis, and you wonder why you don't have a bicycle and everybody else does, and class changes and here comes 400 bicycles.
It's amazing.
That's an experience.
Yeah.
For transportation, so a model at the same time. So I wish more people rode bicycles, weather issue, time, safety, but great program. Thank you.
There are a lot of barriers. We definitely educate about wearing helmets. That's a big part of our 4th grade curriculum. We definitely would encourage schools to have a helmet wearing policy and to enforce it. We have educational materials, flyers, and handouts that can be posted. We have one on e-bikes. We have one on bike safety, pedestrian safety. So all those resources are available for not just when we come in the classroom, but just through some of the resources that we share on our PSAs and things.
Right. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. One last thing I just want to say is partnership between the school district and the city planning and public works department is a really critical part of Safe Routes to School programming. We don't have anything formalized as far as I know in this district, but that would be something to strive for, having a task force or having some way to regularly be communicating back and forth between the schools or the school district and city public works and planning so that you make sure projects that will facilitate safer walking and bicycling will happen.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. All right. I think she's waiting in the wings. Next, we have Expanded Learning Program. We have Alana DeMars here to do the summer school update.
Hi.
Hi.
I have my wonderful counterpart, Rachel Allen,
Yeah,
here with me
wonderful.
today.
Hi, everybody.
Let's see. All right, we should talk about the fun stuff. Summer school, summer programs, and it really, hold on one second. Right there? No? Move, just perfect. All right, we wrapped up, it seems like just yesterday, we wrapped up summer. and we're ready to go for the next one. So, but we wanted to give you a little bit of a recap for what we had this summer. Our objectives are to highlight our innovative programming, celebrate our incredible staff and faculty, and outline where we go. You'll see that these are last year's LCAP goals, but we were wrapping up last year. So this is, we align with last year's goal 1, 3, and 4. Our program grew a little bit over the last couple of years. We're pretty excited about that. But really what you'll see with the overview there are all the different offerings at all the different locations and all the needs that we got to meet for our students this summer. It's pretty impressive.
Alana, would you mind going back and just calling out the difference between the SEA and the ESY?
Yes.
So we make sure we all understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
SEA is Summer Enrichment Academy. It's our academic enrichment program that we offered both at the elementary level and at the middle school. Our ESY is our extended school year, which is our program that is designed for our students in special education.
And that students who participate in our extended school year program, it is a part of their individualized education plan, where basically they require extended time in the school year in order to maintain the progress that they made in the regular school year.
Great, thank you.
Sure. So the design behind our Summer Enrichment Academy, our academic enrichment program, was really to tap into our faculty. We've got an incredible group of teachers here who can design their own curriculum, can design what they want to teach. And that was really the fun part. So teachers would design classes about space or science or creative writing, and really it kind of gave them the opportunity to hone in on those skills that they wanted. It also provided some options for families. You can sign up for a session or two or the entire summer. You can get some help in math and language arts and take an American Sign Language class. So it really gave a lot of variety for our families. And John Reed was our site this year. It was amazing. We offered 58 classes throughout the 3 enrichment summer sessions that we did. Everything from journalism to coding to cooking to, for families that didn't necessarily want to take an academic program, we offered the YMCA as an option as well. So there was really a little bit of, there was something for everybody. You'll see our biggest group were our 2nd and 3rd graders. That was kind of the bulk of who attended, but it was pretty consistently attended across the board. It was a nice program. Our little kiddos. We had great feedback from both parents and our staff. The one that resonated with me was, I like how it's educational but made fun. So this is what we're doing. We want to bring on those experiences for our students so they can engage in a different way during the summer program. It was pretty fun. I think our teachers felt, I would hope that our teachers felt incredibly supported and really given all the tools that they needed to make the magic, because they were the ones that were in the classrooms. It was really great. Areas of opportunity for us that we look at anytime we're looking at the development of a program is, how do we get kids engaged? How do we keep attendance? That's important to us because we have such a program that's in demand. We want to make sure that the kids are actually attending. We saw a little bit of a drop off there. And clearer program articulation. We offer a lot of moving parts. And so making sure that we're very clear in all of the choices that families have to make so that they make the right choice for their kiddos. Our middle school program was not at Technology Middle School, even though one of the pictures will say it is. It was at Rancho this year. And this year was pretty exciting to move our program into the high school level. We thought that just putting feet on campus on a high school might be a good way to feel comfortable when some of these kiddos are moving on to high school next year. So it was a good experience. We offered 3 to 4 classes per session. Attendance was a little light, I would say, but they got to do things from crocheting, as you can see. That was a big hit there. And one of the classes that I think really resonated with kids was getting ready to high school. It was like a little bit of this is what it might look like. And I think that is a trend that I'd like to explore moving forward. Feedback, same. It was positive across the board. I think there was student feedback that they really wanted to have some choice in what they were doing. And so that's something that, maybe they didn't sign up for the crochet class, but I think they had a good time once they were there. So I think that finding a way to bring in student voice will be very important moving forward. And attendance was definitely something that we saw drop off. Parents have a wish for academic support during the summer, and so we need to look at that and how we can best support our families while also engaging our students who may not want to be there during the summer. So that's a little balancing act that we're going to have to do. And our community partnerships. We have our YMCA programs and our Boys and Girls Club that really wrap around our community during the summer and provide robust programming all over the place. So we try to keep multiple sites open during the summer. I know that that's an impact on us and facilities, but we were able to offer 4 YMCA programs as well as an off-site Boys and Girls Club program throughout the entire summer. So we don't close. We're open year-round for our students. It's really a great program. All right.
ELO, what's that acronym?
Expanded Learning Opportunity.
So our extended school year program this summer was offered for pre-K through 5th grade at Evergreen Elementary. And we had 10 classrooms there. These are some of the pictures from there for our kiddos. We had 10 classrooms, pre-K and elementary. And then our middle and high school programs were both at Rancho. And we had the opportunity to see what ESY looks like when it's combined on the same campus with C for the middle and high. And we had, for elementary, it was separate for this year compared to the year before where it had been together. And it was a good opportunity to see the benefits and drawbacks of having it together and separate. But we had a lot of our great staff on board this summer. Kids were having a lot of fun. I got to go and spend time in classrooms both at the secondary and the elementary level. The elementary had a big celebration on the last day of ESY and had parents join a big barbecue, and that was a lot of fun. And then all through the summer, our early education or our pre-K program is doing assessments for students as they turn 3. So you may know that we're required to do an assessment when a child has been identified as having needs and would potentially be eligible for an IEP before they turn 3 years old. So this happened all summer. So we also had pre-K assessment teams conducting assessments and holding IEPs throughout the summer. And this was some of our feedback about ESY. It was primarily very, very positive. They felt the amount of support was just the right amount, and they felt supported by the ESY principals, both at middle, high, and pre-K and elementary. One of the things we did a little bit different this year is we tried to improve upon our practices for making sure we have all of the right curriculum that people need prior to the start of the programming. So we were really intentional about what we purchased in partnership with the C program, and then have put all of that in bins to hold and protect so it can be used next summer. And we got good feedback about that. Ooh, it's just moved. And the level of curriculum that was available this summer. So we plan to continue to do that moving forward. And I'll let her talk about credit recovery.
All right. Credit recovery was, we had the highest number of students we've ever had in credit recovery. We had 200 students registered, We upped our faculty to 4. We had 4 dedicated credit recovery teachers this summer, along with an administrator. 163 courses were completed, and I'm happy to say that 5 students were able to graduate as a result of credit recovery. So that's wonderful that they met their requirements. We had 7 VLA students participate over the summer, and 5 of them passed their courses. So we had a lot of learning in a variety of different ways this summer. Nope. It takes a big team to deliver an amazing program. So we are, my gratitude to everybody that pitched in, from our district coordinator, Jared, to, Rachel and her incredible team that delivered a stellar program. So we're very, very pleased with all of the participation. And I think every year that I've presented this, I say the same thing, which is this is an amazing program, and we continue to see it grow. And we also just must acknowledge the impact that it has on the landscape of our district. We are running a heavy program year-round, which is amazing. But thanks to our facilities crew, thanks to Josh for putting up with all of our, moving targets of where we're going to go, and our payroll is processing, hundreds more time cards than they would normally be doing in the middle of a summer. So much appreciation goes to the entire district for supporting this incredible program. And next, we start talking about recommendations for next year. I would keep C the same. We'd focus on TK through 6. I think we'll need to do some exploring about what we do with 7th and 8th, looking at site selections that won't impact any construction that we may have this summer. I would recommend that we move our C program and our ESY program back together. I think that there's really some benefit to having the programs combined. And then credit recovery would be implemented with more of a direct high school leadership oversight. I think that all of those things would move us in a great direction. Any questions?
I just have a couple. You just talked about combining the classes, and thank you for doing this.
Uh-huh.
The summer programs are awesome.
Thank you.
Combining the C and the ESY, what's the barrier to that, and do you have enough space?
It'll be tight. I mean, I think that is the number one consideration, is finding a campus that can meet the needs of all of the students. And yeah, that will be a challenge. I think the benefits outweigh that for all of our students and our staff and our administration. I think it's an important message to send, being together and
Definitely.
inclusive.
The other question I had is just with staffing, are there challenges getting enough staff to execute the programs?
We get pretty creative. Yes, there are challenges, but I think that the more time that goes on and the more times we do this program, people really seek it out. I think they're enjoying what they're doing. There's a lot of autonomy and creative ability to put things into play that you may not necessarily have, or you want to tweak something in the classroom. So we're working on that. I mean, we started earlier this year, which I'm really grateful for, and I don't even want to say it because I feel like it'll curse it. We were so wonderfully staffed this year, and it just felt right. It was a good balance. So
It'll happen again.
Knock on wood.
I
We're
just
going
know it.
that way. Yeah. Any other
Thank you.
questions?
Can I add one piece? I think just another acknowledgement would be our labor partners, and we wrote some really robust MOUs for ESY and C for both teaching and paraprofessional staff and all the other folks who might be working during summer programming. And I think that really helped provide some clarity around what people were signing up for and made things run a lot smoother. And so in terms of staffing, I would say that helped us, so people were clear and signed up early as soon as that was done.
And do we open it up for our own district gets to fill the positions first, and then if we don't fill it, then we open it up to the outside?
Exactly,
Absolutely.
yep.
And then if a teacher or one of our one of our employees that gets like years of service credit. Does teaching in the summer school program count towards their years of service?
I don't know.
Okay.
Do you know?
John shaking his head.
Oh, no.
Okay. So you can't like two summer schools for the
For a
equivalent of
ye-
1 year. Okay, just
I
checking,
don't,
sorry.
I don't think.
I just open up a big can of worms. I have lots of great ideas. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this originally funded through a grant or COVID money?
It's funded
Yeah.
through the Expanded Learning Opportunity Program. So the grant that does all of expanded learning, which is all of our after-school programming, our YMCA programming. For the most part, the summer program is funded that way, with the exception, I would imagine, of Credit Recovery being their own little pocket and ESY being their own little pocket.
Okay. And then is that grant expanding or closing anytime soon, or
No.
is it? Okay. And then I have one more. Is that, yeah. And then the credit recovery, is it A to G? Like if I take one of those, if it's an A to G accepted course, then it covers that for going forward?
Correct.
Okay. Those were all mine.
If it's an A to G.
Yeah, if it's an A to G course, then it's accepted in that. Great. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
We appreciate
Thank
it. Okay. Everyone doing okay? Yeah. Okay. So next we have our reports and communications. So first up, for Tech High, we have Sam.
All right. Good evening, board. I'm Sam Mahan. Tonight I'll be giving you a presentation about September at Tech High. So September was a relatively lax month for us. September served as a month of a lot of behind-the-scenes planning for a busy October and November. But nevertheless, we had a lot of activity on campus, and I'm excited to share it with you. So a few weeks ago, we held Club Rush, which was a huge success at Tech High. This year, we had a record-breaking 30 clubs on campus, and of those 30, 21 had enough students to actually stand and be a club throughout the entire year. Of those clubs, we have Cookie Club, which has over 110 participants, Mecha, Black Excellence, Robotics Club, which is always a huge one as well, Anime, Athlete Recognition, Astronomy, and a few other ones. You can see pictured on the right some photos from Mecha Club, and on the left, some photos from clubs advertising themselves to the students and everyone having a good time. So that was a really successful event. As for other events, we had College and Career Fair. College and Career Fair was last week, and it was a great way for students to stay on campus and engage with what their futures could look like. We had, of some colleges, we had University of Tennessee, SF State, SSU, NYU, College of the West, and tons of trade schools. You can see we also had some military service members from the Army, Navy, Air Force, as well as the Coast Guard. We had sheriffs, people from Penn State, and again, a lot of trade schools. It was a great time for students as well to interact with people in fields that they're interested in. Now, as a highlight for some of the classes at Tech High this year, we're offering art, which is something new for our campus. It's taught by Miss Dilworth, and a huge hit. It actually has 2 periods of art, and students are right now going through topographical designs as well as some sketching with oil paints and sculpting. This is a huge class, like I said before, and something that we're looking at to keep throughout the future years at Tech. As for some recognition, we have the Athletes of the Month. So Josie Hill was selected for one of the Athletes of the Month. Josie Hill finished first in the CMC League meet and second at the Rancho Invitational for cross country. And in her free time, she also likes to horseback ride. We also have Dashel Faria, who is also being selected for cross country. 2 years ago, Dashel unfortunately injured his shoulder, where he underwent some surgeries and wasn't able to run last year. But this year, he's made his way back and is running with great improvement and finished 13th in his first league meet of the year. This is also his senior season. We had a blood drive this month, which was a success for Tech High. We had 12 participants in total, which donated 14 units of blood, and we're looking at having another one next semester as part of our student engagement. And so the blood drive was a big success as well. Like I said in our last presentation, ASB started a new initiative called Town Hall Meetings, where we have the grade representatives outside and available to speak to members of their grade. And this month gave us very valuable insights for Planet of Homecoming and eventually led to having Tangled selected as our theme this year. We also gained insights on how students are feeling. Tech High is going through a big transition period with 6 new teachers and a new principal and assistant principal. And so it's really valuable that we have some sort of forum for students to just interact face-to-face with ASB and their representatives so that we can continue to be a school of community and culture. Last Friday was a busy day for Tech as well. Pictured on the right, we had a senior pizza party where seniors, of course, got to end the quarter off with a nice way to bond with one another, eat some pizza, and celebrate the end of the first quarter for Tech. And we also had a CalScape fundraiser for ASB. This fundraiser on Friday night had 91 participants in total and raised around $700 for ASB, which we're looking forward to using in the future for prom and some other fun events at Tech. Like I said, September was a month of planning as we move into October and November. Some upcoming events will be a trick-or-treat tailgate event for the different clubs at Tech, where they can go outside in the quad, interact with students, and then give them out candy. We also have the THS Robotics All-Nighter, which is an event where it's a fundraiser for the robotics team, and these students get to come to campus, stay overnight from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., bring food, bring video games, and hang out with their friends all night at the Student Center. We have homecoming in a few weeks, and the THS journalism class is going to be releasing their first release of the monthly newspaper, as well as opening a new website. And we have Titan Tours, a PTSA carnival, and a John Reed trip where we go to teach science lessons and read to students. With that being said, are there any questions for me? Right.
Thank you.
So that concludes it. Thank you.
All right. For Rancho Cotati, we have Haley Tran.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Haley Tran, and I am Rancho Cotati High School's school board representative. Starting off with student culture. To start off, September 23rd to the 27th was our Ribbon Week, where we brought awareness to anti-bullying, animal abuse, mental health, drug and alcohol abuse, and LGBTQIA+. We gave out ribbons to all the students, and each color represented each day that we brought awareness to. So Monday was anti-bullying awareness, so it was blue. Tuesday was animal abuse awareness, so it was purple. Wednesday is mental health awareness, so it was green. And Thursday was drug and alcohol abuse awareness, so it was red. And Friday was LGBTQIA+ awareness, so it was rainbow. We also had our first blood drive. For Rancho's first of 4 blood drives on September 16th, we received 27 life-saving units out of a goal of 25. We had lots of donors who were willing to donate. We also had a spirit activity on September 27th. We had a very successful spirit activity. Our Spirit and Rally commissioners organized a root beer float stand where we were able to give out over 300 cups of root beer floats. They also had games for students to play with. The World of Fantasy Rally Spirit Week was also on the week of October 7th through the 11th. So on Monday, it was Magic Mirror, so it was dress up as a twin. Tuesday was Knight in Shining Armor, so it was dress as your type. Wednesday was Character Day, so it was dress as your favorite fairy character. Thursday was Eternal Slumber, wear your coziest PJs, and Friday was Rancho Blowout, so it was red, white, and blue, or Rancho gear. We also had our homecoming rally. This year, our homecoming rally theme was A World of Fantasy. It was truly wonderful with student interaction. We had a game of musical chairs, chants, cheers. We also introduced 27 Rancho alumni and football, as well as performances from dance, cheer, band, and choir, and the crowd was engaging, which led to a great time. During our homecoming rally, we announced the freshman, sophomore, and junior homecoming royalty winners. Freshman royalty was Riley Wilson and Kylie Tran. Sophomore royalty was Ariana Kowalik and Miles Johnson. Junior royalty was Dina Azevedo and Tyler Kwong. And during halftime of the varsity football game, we announced the senior homecoming royalty winners, Gavin Namachanti and Michaela Alvarez. Congratulations to everyone. We continued our annual homecoming floats during halftime between JV and varsity. Each grade had a different float, so freshmen were Cinderella, sophomores were Beauty and the Beast, juniors were Tangled, seniors were Princess and the Frog. Each grade had to put together a performance and a storyline that intertwined with their theme. It was a great success with student participation. We had 7 judges this year, including 5 of our board members, Superintendent Ituri, Trustee Michelle Wing, Trustee Eric Martin, Trustee Shirley Johnson, and Rochelle Gagori. We also had English teacher Heather Brown and legacy judge Robbie Holman. I would like to thank all of our judges for attending and judging each grade's floats. So in first place was seniors, second place juniors, third place was sophomores, and fourth place was freshmen. And we also had some of our clubs walk out on the track to showcase their amazing work. On October 12th, the Junior Class Council put together a great homecoming dance. The theme was Once Upon a Night. We had water stands, a photo booth, sitting areas, and bag check. Due to the rain, the Junior Class Council moved the dance from outside to inside in 90 minutes. I would like to give a great thanks to our Junior Class Council for their hard work. On Saturday, September 21st, we had an incredible turnout for Rancho Cotati High School with the community celebration. There was around 3,500 people throughout the day. It was a day full of music, dancing, food, cars, and celebrating the Hispanic-rich heritage and culture. We want to extend a huge thank you to everyone who came out to support and enjoy the event. Your presence made the day truly special. And for recognitions and appreciations, we have our weekly staff spotlight, which was Ms. Munsky, Ms. Langton, Mr. Higgins, Ms. Brandenburg, and Mr. Altadonna. We appreciate all that you do for our students and staff on campus. Congratulations to all of our Athlete of the Week, Jasmine Lopez, Josephina McKee, Giovanni Martinez, Taylor Gagnon, Kenny Owens, Stella Santorinos, Isabella Harumi, Roxana Corona, and Bertha Urs. These student athletes have shown significant work in their sports. Congratulations to our Talent of the Week, Miles Johnson, Jimrex Serrano, Dina Azevedo. They have shown their exceptional work through public speaking and playing multi-instruments. Upcoming events, we have Rancho Cotati California Scholarship Federation, who are hosting a last-minute study session for Quarter 1 finals on October 16th from 3:30 to 5 p.m. in the TAG lobby. Students within the club will be providing cookies and snacks for those who attend. This is a great way to get students ready for finals the next day. We also have Haunt My House. So every year, ASB holds a Halloween fundraiser called Haunt My House. We offer a package that includes 2 mini pumpkins, 2 skulls, 2 spider webs, and 1 goodie bag for $25. Rancho ASB students will go to the homes with festive Halloween decorations, in which the proceeds funds various schools' events. We also have our first canned food drive for the first time this year on November 18th. Food will be donated to NOAA. All proceeds go to people in our community. We'll be hosting a Halloween costume contest on the day of Halloween. Students will be able to showcase their awesome costumes. And lastly, finals are this week for Quarter 1 on October 17th and 18th. Good luck to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Haley. All right, next we have trustee reports on activities. Trustee Johnson.
Yeah, speaking of the homecoming float, it was a privilege and a joy to get to judge those floats. It was so creative and lovely. And I also attended the safety study session we had, and that was very informative, and I look forward to more of those.
Great. Trustee Brown?
So we all attended the safety issue, the meeting. Is that October 1st or 2nd?
First.
So today's the 15th, and being Mr. Impatient, every day I wake up, I think about safety, especially in light of, you know, the news in the paper yesterday of the Pengrove School and those issues. And I just try to be patient, but we need to go forward, and we need to come up with tools for our inside and outside protection for our students. And I want to relate to a few things of technology. And when I worked for the fire department, on every call that we went out on, we had layers and layers and layers of data rolled into computers for the safety of our employees and the safety of the employees where they're going to incidences. And then hearing about the Pengrove School yesterday and reading in the paper, one of the problems when they had the lockdown, the TK kids, if I get this, were in 3 different places and ended up going to 3 different locations. So, I mean, the technologies that a teacher or substitute needs to know, to have, and they're talking about those teachers, you know, using their cell phones to do that. But we need, you know, our safety officer, we have one. I mean, hopefully our safety officer is working with the sheriff's department to learn from the incident they had in Pengrove yesterday. I hope we're working with tools. Like I think you mentioned at the safety meeting, what happens when you have a lockdown and a student is locked out, can't get into a classroom. We need those tools. We have those technologies. When I go to the grocery store or go to Costco or whatever and put in my card, they know everything I buy. They know everything I do, at what time, at whatever. We know, due to Megan's Law, within the community where there are sex offenders and this and that. But we don't know where there are people that have guns or things, whether they're legal or not legal or whatever, or people are having emotional issues and stuff, and use a school or a shopping center or whatever. So I hope when we go forward on this security, I would like to see this as a topic every board meeting, to kind of get updates, to see where we're going, and to share, to see where we're going, because I hope that we have those tools going forward. I mean, we have AI that can, I mean, I take out my cell phone, you can tell everywhere I've been, every call I've made, and my locations, etc. And I would like to have that technology for the police department and for our safety officers as tools to know when there's someone with a mental issue or mental health issue or whatever that could potentially come to the schools, and have that data and those you know, means of protection as we go forward. So I know we're working on it. I want to continue to work on it. Hopefully we'll pass the bond issue and have funds to appropriate on it. But we need to me, it's the most important issue for education right now, in providing a safe environment. And I don't know if I'm probably a little bit more biased now that I have grandkids in the school, and I see those 2 little ones going off to school every day. My kids were near and dear to my heart, but grandkids just kind of turn up that notch a little bit for a grandparent type of thing. And seeing all the little kids in the neighborhood turn up the notch a little bit. So that's my 2 cents. I get off my soapbox, but every day I wake up and I think about it. So hopefully we can go forward with that plan and work it out and achieve some few issues and a few ways that we can make our schools safer. Thank you.
I attended the safety program as well. While I'm not of the same accord of some of the Big Brother things that LEF is, I do think there's a lot of stuff that we talked about and that we can pursue that's available, more readily available than possibly maybe security databases or something. But I think about safety every day as well. I live about 10 houses away from Tech Middle School, so every day I hear the announcement and what's going on in the playgrounds and such. every day if I open my window. So I think we need to keep pursuing that and keep looking at options that we have available, more readily available as well. Money is always, I mean, we had a lot of great ideas, and time and money being the biggest, I guess, preventer of some of those issues. On a very positive note, I liked the turnout that we had for the safety meeting, and I'm hoping that we have more the next time that we have one. Got to hear a variety of input from students. That was great that we had some students show up, teachers, as well as parents. And on an even more positive note, I think the highlight of my time since last board meeting was attending here, watching the Jungle Book with the Richard Crane students. That was hilarious, and just that was a good time. And I can't even imagine the time put into that by the teachers and the art teacher and such, and the principal, and getting that together. That was a great show. So definitely a positive aspect of being a board member. Thank you.
I appreciated all that came out from the special study session on safety, big and small. What I liked about it is there's things we could do right now just to improve safety a little bit. And I really liked going to the Rancho Cotati homecoming game and judging the floats. It was an awesome time.
I got to be a judge as well, so that was fantastic, and thank you for the Rancho students for inviting us. Last week, I was at the safety meeting with all of you. And then last week, we were at the LCAP meeting, and it was, thank you, Jamal, for putting that together, and we kind of went over high level of what the plan is. For this year, we've already approved it, but what the thoughts are. One of the questions that got brought up was, how do we get more students involved, and how do we get more parents involved? And I said, well, if you want the students there, give them service hours for it. And if you want adults there, tell them they get double service hours if they bring their parents. So, and it was actually surprising to me because a couple of the teachers and principals said, well, the students could have service hours. I'm like, I guarantee you'd have a lot more service hours if it said service hour opportunity on top, and then come to the LCAP meeting, because I know all of our students have to do 40 hours. One of the things, I appreciate the parents that came and talked tonight about the kindergarten classroom, and one of the things I think that strikes me is we had this, we had the safety committee where we had some parents there, and then we had the LCAP committee meeting where I don't think anyone was there that wasn't voluntold they had to be there. One, we did, okay, great. And so I think I love the engagement and the enthusiasm, and I would like a way, when they come to a board meeting, we can't talk to them. If you go to a safety meeting or an LCAP meeting or a budget meeting or a DLAC meeting, we can sit there and talk. There's nothing preventing us from talking to people and having dialogue. So it'd be great if we had like a no acronym, no fancy educational lingo cheat sheet that just said, if you care about this, this is a meeting that you could go to and here's where it's at. And it's for a parent can attend it, or like, you don't have to be a district employee, you don't have to be a board member, you don't have to be one of these things. I know we have to get people to read it, but just if we can simplify it and make it in as common everyday language as possible, and then also just encouraging our students to come by service hours, because I think that at 6 o'clock at night or at 8 o'clock at night they have sports and schoolwork and all these different kinds of things. So I know that their education, it has to be in it. Something has to be in it for them, but gotta give them a little bit of incentive to come. So, so those are the things that I did. But those are my thoughts of how can we get more people involved. So, anyway, great. Superintendent Ituri.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I too was at the safety meeting. And we do have a lot of data that we're sorting through now to be able to provide people with information about what was discussed. I was also at the LCAP meeting, and I was at the homecoming game, which was a lot of fun. I had a lot of questions. I clearly don't understand football. So, but people talked me through it. At one point, I turned to Rochelle and I said, what inning is it? And she's like, you're not even in the right stadium. Preschool plans are moving forward. I think we're going to open in late October, early November. We have lots of infants and preschoolers registered, so we're very excited about that. We don't have enough space or enough interest in the in between the toddler group, so we will be focusing on infants and preschool students for this year. I was also at the Han Walkathon, Star Wars theme. That was awesome and fun. We site visits this month. I've been able to make it to LJ, TPA, THS, ELCO, Han, and UELF. And we had IBB bargaining, which was, I always appreciate that conversation. I'm sure that President Bauman will talk more about it, but safety, TKs, and were a couple of the topics that we have engaged in this month. So, thank you.
Next, for Roanoke Park Cotati Educators Association, we have President Lisa Bauman.
Good evening, everyone. Oops, sorry. So I feel like I had to go back to my calendar to see all the meetings I've been to. I've seen you at a lot of them. I think we've missed a LAMP meeting in there too since the last board meeting. I got to go to a CTA president's meeting down in San Jose at the end of September, and that was really, that's always really inspiring to meet other educators in Northern California and hear what they're doing and what their concerns are and the challenges that they're facing. I was also at the safety meeting and the celebration, and there's a lot of great stuff going on around the district. We've had actually 2 bargaining sessions since the last time I got up here, and we've been talking a lot about safety and the study session, which was great. I was there after a long day of bargaining, and but I do still need to kind of bring back that the other safety issue that we are experiencing and have concerns about are in our classrooms, not just the external safety issues that we're concerned about, and that aggressive and violent student behavior continues to be the #1 concern that I hear from members. I continue to receive regular reports of students physically assaulting teachers and aides or threatening to, as well as being aggressive towards other students. And I continue to have serious concerns about the physical and mental well-being of our educators. And we're also concerned for our labor partners in SEIU. A lot of our paraprofessionals are, having to, step in and take the brunt of a lot of what's going on. And so I've shared those concerns with the superintendent. And so we're working on it. It's like you said, we could fix so many of these things with more money, and so the challenge is trying to fix them without any. So during our, I feel like all I ever talk about is safety, but during our last meet and confer, we actually invited, Matt Marshall came and met with us and joined our meeting so that we had asked for clarity around the suspensions as it pertains to Ed Code. We understand that we're under differentiated assistance and we need to be mindful of our marginalized populations and those suspensions. So we were asking, we had good discussions about that. And we also wanted to understand better what the, discipline policy is. So there's a lot of acronyms, and even when I talk to members, there doesn't always seem to be consistency among sites. And so I think that's one of the things that's really kind of coming up and that we're working together on, is that making sure that we're all kind of on the same playing field with how we're addressing certain things. So we wanted to know kind of like what the escalation of consequences were, and we found out that, every site has its own plan, and so that presents some challenges. So in our first bargaining session, we identified our problem statement, and then we our shared interests, and then really just throwing out things that we would like to see in the contract. Like right now, the language in the contract regarding safety is really nebulous, and there's differing opinions about whether or not it's referencing the young people in our classrooms or the physical structure of our classrooms. And so we need, we're really hoping to get something in the contract that addresses the safety of our students and educators with regard to students. So we brainstormed a lot of stuff, and then we went to the community forum on school safety, and then we continued the discussion today, and Matt came back, which was really nice, and so we had some data to look at, and the data itself raised its own questions, and kind of what we all agreed upon is that that there looks to be some holes, and that the documentation process can be very time consuming, and teachers are already maxed out with all the other things that they have to do just to get ready for the next day. And so we feel like there might be some uncaptured data. And so I'm communicating with our members to make sure that they're reporting it, because that data helps us make better informed decisions. And that if in fact they are being injured, that they're also filing incident reports with RESIG, however that works. Jen, no. So I think the other concern that we have related to this is that it seems like there's a disconnect sometimes between the behaviors that teachers are experiencing in their classrooms and the consequences that students are receiving. And we even had a discussion about it today with our TK teachers, that some of our younger students are seeing these like positive behavior interventions as good thing. Like they see discipline, the attention that their peers are getting for discipline, as good things, and so they actually start adapting to these bad behaviors that we're trying to correct. So that's definitely a discussion that we need to keep having, and to make sure that when we're talking about PBIS or positive behavior interventions, that we're doing it correctly and we're doing it with fidelity, because we're not seeing the change in behavior that we'd like to see, definitely not as quick as we'd like to see it. So we hope, I'm hopeful that together we can all find some way to improve things over this next year, sooner rather than later, I hope. Today's bargaining session was actually really exciting. After we looked at the data, we shifted to TK because we don't really have any specific language regarding TK, our TK program in our contract. We just kind of use the kindergarten language, but there definitely are unique aspects to our TK program. So we had 5 teachers join us today from 5 different schools, which was great, and including one of our co-taught teachers at TPA, and a veteran teacher who's been teaching for 20 years, and I don't know how long she's been teaching TK, but as long as we've had it here. So we had a really diverse representation at the session. So we discussed at length the unique challenges and concerns of the TK program and how we'd like to see it reflected in the contract. And what we discovered too is like a lot of the stuff that we really need doesn't necessarily belong in the contract, but there needs to be clarity in our processes and protocols. And we want to work on a more robust enrollment process when parents, join the district for the first time with TKers. And what was brought up was that like the forms and questionnaires that they fill out like really don't apply to TK. So that was one of the, we have a lot of homework to do, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I think at the end of today that we all had a much better understanding and appreciation of, what these educators who work with our littlest, students are facing. And I think we have a lot of good ideas of how to help with that transition. So we'll revisit both safety and TK and bargaining, but not at our next bargaining session because we have a lot of homework to do before Jen Hansen and I can start to draft make the first drafts of some possible language. So at our next bargaining meeting, we will be inviting our El Camino teachers to attend to help in identifying much needed language in our contract for our alternative ed program, because that's another thing that we actually don't have any language for. So that's the big stuff. And then I sent out a request for people to share all the amazing things that they're doing, and they're busy. So the only thing that I have that was not in our students report is that there is a play happening here at the high school this week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. It's called 21 Worst Breakups of All Time. And apparently the original play is 9, and so the other ones are scenes that were written by our own students. So I encourage you to attend. And one other thing that we're doing differently at Rancho this year too is we are actually having a club council meeting once a month. And so all the club presidents and club advisors are invited, and there's something that we're working on. So like this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so all of the clubs were asked to do some kind of activity that could either bring awareness or do fundraising for breast cancer awareness. So I know my club, I wasn't there because I was visiting my son last weekend, but they were out peddling baked goods for donations, and they had a great time, and they said people were really generous. And so I really like the fact that even though each club has its own identity, that we're all, that the ASB has decided to bring us together too. So I'm happy about that. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have receipt of official correspondence. Sonoma County Office of Education approval letter for adopted budget 2023-2024.
We have the wrong attachment on that item. So do we bring it back?
You could.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was sent to the board, and we have copies of the real one.
I know, but it's not in the.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to bring the right one back. Thank you. Okay.
Is this, what's wrong with this one?
It's the wrong year. The one that's attached to the board agenda.
All right,
Which one are you?
never mind. I just don't know what year it is. Going back a year.
Clearly, I don't either. So
all right,
we're going
next.
to make sure we get the right one on there. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I do have a question on the one from last year. It does outline some of the things we have to do is for authorizing and overseeing charter schools and Credo. So
I don't know that I can answer that
okay,
question.
I'm just more interested in what are our responsibilities there. So.
We are their
We're the charter for them.
we are their oversight, and we look at their books and we monitor their programs and make sure they're in compliance with what we need them to be, and that they're fiscally responsible as well. So, and that's the responsibility of the district for that charter school.
And then SCO oversees that. So there's a couple checks and balances.
All right, approval of the 2024-2025 LCAP.
Yes, we have our LCAP approved. Very exciting. And we will be moving forward with fulfilling the goals that we've identified. I believe it was a really robust process that we got a lot of feedback, and we continue to meet, and we really, really encourage people to come to our LCAP meetings. I love the idea of service credits for our students, so we'll look into that to encourage greater attendance, because our student voice is so important. The next one is the Williams findings, and we are compliant. We finished our Williams visits, and the school sites were TMS, John Reed, Thomas Page, and Lawrence Jones.
Great.
Thank you.
I know that at home you guys can't hear this, but we have a volleyball game going on behind us, and I think something very exciting just happened because they're cheering really loud over there. So that's exciting to me. All right. Consent agenda. Are there any questions for items 8A through T? Can I get a motion to approve items 8A through T?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Educational Services, acknowledgement of reports submitted to CDE. Dr. Fields.
We turned in our universal pre-K program report, which just asks us to list how many schools or classrooms we have, teachers, and those types of things, information about the universal pre-K program. We submitted that and turned it in on time.
Great, thank you. At our last meeting, we did the redesign of reclassification criteria, but it was not listed as an item up for approval. So this is what item B is. Are there any questions or comments about the reclassification that we talked about last time? All right, can I get a motion to approve the redesign of reclassification criteria?
I'll move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 10, approval of provisional internship permit at Lawrence Jones Middle School.
Yes, we are working on continuing to fill our ed specialist positions, and this one is for Stuart Davis, who was recruited from Monte Vista and is now at Lawrence Jones.
Great. Can I get a motion to approve the provisional internship permit at Lawrence Jones Middle School?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next up, approval of provisional internship permit at Tech Middle School.
Yes, another ed specialist position, and this is Lena Echeverria. Echeverry? I'm so sorry if I got that wrong. Again, another ed specialist position.
Great.
Yes, very exciting.
Any questions about that? All right, can I get a motion to approve the provisional internship permit at Tech Middle School?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Approval of the certificated occupational therapy assistant job description.
Yes, we have a robust occupational therapy program, and it's been very successful, and this is adding an assistant to their team.
Can I get a motion to approve the certificated occupational therapy assistant job description?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next is the approval of the SEIU classified salary schedule revision.
Yes, we had an error on the last one, and we're bringing this back for your approval. No?
No.
No, it's the
Oh,
COTA.
sorry.
That's okay.
That was the last meeting. This is adding the occupational therapy assistant. See, I knew I needed my notes. This is adding the COTA. Sorry
Great.
about that.
Any questions? What? No. All right, can I get a motion to approve the SEIU classified salary schedule?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. So we are going to take a break because we need to potentially get, for the public hearing to review proposal for the CRPOSD solar project, we need to get the person on Zoom. Josh, do you guys have a presentation too, or are we just approving what it was before? Does anyone have?
There's
any-
not a presentation.
Right.
There was a presentation done months
Yeah,
ago.
months ago. Right.
And we're at the point where we have negotiated a contract with the vendor,
Right.
and that is what is being approved today, hopefully.
Yep.
The person on Zoom will be our solar consultant, if there are any questions,
Right.
so.
So does the board have any questions for the consultant?
I don't.
Anyone?
May the sun shine.
Okay, then I don't think we need to get him
Okay,
on Zoom.
great.
Unless, Josh, you really want him to say hi to us. But we will still take a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and then do the public hearing. Sound
Great,
good?
yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Guess we're not.
We will call the meeting back to order at 8:06.
Look, it's 8:06. Who's got the 8 o'clock bet?
Nobody's got the 8 o'clock
8:30.
bet.
All right.
8:30.
8:30, okay.
We're on track.
Item 11A, review proposal for the CRP USD solar photo, oh, this is like a new word for me. What is this word?
Photovoltaic.
Photovoltaic project. Look at that.
That'd be the sun shining on stuff.
That's photosynthesis. So that's what the plan. Okay, whatever. Here we go. It's getting too late. Item 11A will be the public hearing to solicit the recommendation and comments of the public regarding the proposal for the CRP USD solar photovoltaic project. The floor is now open for public comment. Seeing none,
There's crickets.
we will close the public hearing. Nope, we don't vote on it. That's just it, right? All right. There we go. Item 11B, approval of resolution 2025-11, making findings on energy savings. Any questions, comments?
No,
All right.
like year 11 is when we start really raking in the dollars, right?
Once the system's built, we start saving money right away.
Yeah.
Which will be within a year.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution 2025-11, making findings on energy savings?
I move that we approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Johnson.
Yes.
Trustee Martin.
Aye.
Trustee Nelson.
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes.
You guys don't know the difference between aye and yes.
We're sticking to it.
Approval of solar power purchase agreement.
Rebels.
Any questions or comments? Can I get a motion to approve the solar power purchase agreement?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Board services, fiscal update and planning.
All right, so I'm gonna go over the enrollment report for September. We had a net loss of 16 students, and again, I think the August report wasn't fully complete because they're still catching up with, it's very early on to the year. I think any comparison should be made against this report going forward. As you can see, in the high school especially, in the high school data, that there were no SDCs students identified in August versus now, and then you see they were kind of just spread out between 9th and 12th grade, and I think that's the explanation for that. But we did have 19 students enter in the month of September, one from private schools, one from out of county, 10 from within the county. We had 35 exit, 6 from private, 13 from out of county, 9 from within the county, and then 7 others.
Okay.
For a net of 16 less students.
Thank you. Any questions for John?
No.
All right. Items B through F is the first reading.
Are we going to discuss the budget portion?
We can.
Can we?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So the beginning balance, the 24-25 revised budget from July 1st through September 30th. Significant, another $1 million in income. And also equally significant additional, $6 million more or $5 million more in expenses. Basically, increase in salaries, correct? From all our negotiations, correct?
They haven't all been accounted for yet,
But for the majority of them.
Yeah.
And then eating into our deficit going forward type of thing. So, I mean, I know we didn't know what those were, but at the same time, probably the reason that we're having budget meetings coming up is we're not flush with money, and there's concerns. So I just want to bring that up. The fact that going forward, I know the budget committee is meeting, and I'm anxious to see what what is decided on that. Okay.
Anything else about the budget or the numbers? No? All right. Thanks, Lev. All right, next up is the first reading of board policies and administrative regulations. Are there any questions about B through F? All right. Here we go. Item B, first reading of board policy 0410, non-discrimination in district programs and activities. Item C, first reading of board policy and administrative regulation 4030, non-discrimination in employment. Item D, first reading of board policy 4033, lactation accommodation. Item E, first reading of board policy and exhibit 1, 4112.9, 4212.9, and 4312.9, employee notifications. And item F, first reading of board policy administrative regulation 4119.11, 4219.11, 4319.11, sex discrimination and sex-based harassment. Items G through K are second readings of board policies and administrative regulations. Are there any questions about those? Excuse me. All right, here we go. I make a motion to approve the second reading of board policy and administrative regulation 1312.3, uniform complaint procedures. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I make a motion to approve the second reading of board policy and administrative regulation 5145.3, non-discrimination harassment. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I make a motion to approve the second reading of board policy and administrative regulation 5145.7, sex discrimination and sex-based harassment. Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I make a motion to approve the second reading and administrative regulation in Exhibit 1 of 5145.71, Title 9, yep, sex discrimination and sex-based harassment complaint procedures. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I make a motion to approve the second reading of board policy 5146, married, pregnant, and parenting students. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, we have acceptance of gifts and donations to schools and district.
Thank you. We have a gift for Han Elementary from Leslie Cardosa for $1,275, and a donation to LJ from Dorian Studio for $500. So we thank our community for their ongoing support.
Great. Can I get a motion to approve acceptance of gifts and donations to school and district?
I
I'll-
move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Future business and agenda items. Trustee Johnson.
None at this time.
Trustee Brown.
Just, reiterating the fact that the more, going forward on safety, to make that a possible agenda item every time.
I like it. I agree. Trustee Nelson.
Just to second what Trustee Brown said about the fiscal outlook. I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to, but definitely we need to hear what the budgetary recommendations are for the district.
Trustee Martin.
I'd just like to see also that the safety conversation continue.
So the budget meeting is this Thursday. I'm on the budget committee with you. Are you going to be able to attend?
Mhm.
Okay, I will not be able to attend this. I will be
Okay.
doing budgets at work.
Hmm.
Like they're just as exciting at this time. Great, okay. If there's nothing else, then we will adjourn the meeting at 8:16.
All right.